War Eagle, War Report family. I'm your host, C-Dub, and tonight we discuss a few postseason awards that a few members of our basketball team actually earned in the SEC. And we'll also talk the SEC tournament, how we feel about our Auburn Tigers, and what's going to happen. So you definitely want to hang around for that. So for now, sit back, get your weight up, because tonight we enter the war room.
You are now listening to the War Report. Wednesday night War Room. Brought to you by Auburn Sports.com. Ike Jones, B. Will, C. Doe, Mike G. Let's go!
War Eagle, everyone. War Eagle, War Eagle. Happy Wednesday. I'm joined here by Mike G, Ike Jones. B. Will has the night off. But guys, we're joined by you. Welcome to the Wednesday Night War Room, brought to you by show sponsor, auburnsports.com. Head on over there for your latest regarding recruiting and all the latest regarding Auburn athletics. Shout out to JG Tate and those guys over there. Thank you guys for watching us live or on replay. You know what to do if you're on social media. Share this video. Use hashtag Get Your Weight Up. Help people to find our content. Let's help us to grow our community. Speaking of growing our community, you need to become a patron if you're not already. What's a patron? Mike G is here to tell you all about it.
Hey, become a patron. Patrons are special members of society that care about things that we care about. So become a patron. $5.99 will get you there. Look for that join button on our front page. We appreciate everybody who joins our community. It helps us bring you guys more content, better content, stronger content. If you haven't seen these basketball breakdowns that Ike has been doing, it's because you're not a patron. So become a patron, help us grow our community. We're partnering with the Lee County Humane Society to raise money for a good cause. We're trying to hashtag save all the puppies. This is a cause that is near and dear to our hearts. I have a rescue. Ike has a rescue. Caesar plays with rescues every once in a while. We love rescues. So they do. That's also true. At the Lee County Humane Society. So help us raise money for them. You can find this link in the About section of our YouTube channel. 50 cents on every dollar donated goes to them to help them in their mission to save every puppy they can and rehome lost puppies or help lost puppies find their owners. So they do great work over there and are an important part of the community. Guys, we're giving away an AU t-shirt. This is sponsored by GWT2 Energy Consulting Services. That's our guy, Walt Taylor. He's been supporting us for a long time. Hashtag Get Your Weight Up in the comment section to enter this drawing. So we appreciate everybody who joins our live streams. This is just something we'd like to give back to say thank you for joining us live every Wednesday and Sunday. So hashtag Get Your Weight Up. Make sure you spell that right so you can get in on that. We're on podcasts. Check us out on every single podcast platform. That's Apple, Spotify, all of them, dude. We're everywhere, and we're growing in this segment. So subscribe, download, leave us a 5-star review. Let them know that you want more of the War Report on whatever podcast platform you listen to your podcast on. The War Report is expanding quickly, and podcast is a big part of that. I want to shout out our sponsor, RogueShop.com. Head over to Rogue Shop. They're the reason behind our gummy challenge that has gotten pretty popular on social media. So we're going to do a gummy challenge tonight, I'm sure. But go support them. Use code REPORT to get 10% off. You guys have been going over there. Our guy Richard has been telling me he's been seeing orders come through. We need to keep that going, guys. You can support us by supporting our sponsors. They're a great sponsor. Last but not least, listen, if you don't win the t-shirt, you can just buy one. Hashtag Get Your Weight Up in our merch store. So just head on over to thewarreport.com. Take a look around. Ike's got a lot of dope stuff in there for you guys. So this is another way you can support the War Report by buying some merch, putting it on your body, put a picture on social media. Let them know.
Indeed. Well, listen, it's a busy week, even though it's been kind of slow since our last live. Not much news, a little bit of news, actually. We'll start off by discussing three Auburn Tigers receiving some postseason accolades. Bruce Pearl, Jabari Smith, Walker Kessler, all three of them got recognized by the SEC. Of course, Bruce Pearl earned SEC Coach of the Year. This is actually his third SEC Coach of the Year award. He won two prior with Tennessee. He becomes the first Auburn coach since Cliff Ellis in 1999 to win the award. Walker Kessler earned Defensive Player of the Year. He averaged 4.5 blocks per game and also recorded the second and third triple doubles in post and program history. He's also a finalist for the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Award. So he's also grabbing national recognition as well. Jabari Smith earned SEC Freshman of the Year, fifth leading scorer in the SEC, averaging 17 points a game. Is the top scoring freshman, averaged 43.6% from three-point range during the regular season. So, congrats to those guys. Here's a graphic showing these individuals. Impressive showing by these guys. So, congrats to them. Also, I believe Walker Kessler and Jabari Smith are first team All SEC as well. So to go along with that, they are first team All SEC. An amazing year, an amazing season for these individuals. Want to throw it to Mike G. Your thoughts on these accolades for Bruce Pearl, Jabari Smith, and Walker Kessler?
Awards mean you have your program trending the right direction. So I want everybody to put this in perspective. When Bruce Pearl arrived at Auburn 8 years ago, this is his 8th season, we were not in danger of winning anything. Not winning the SEC, certainly not winning postseason accolades. So to be sitting here today talking about our coach being the best coach in the conference, having the best player in the conference, possibly a #1 overall lottery pick, and having the best defensive player in the conference, Auburn has got it going the right direction. I said check us out on podcasts. We're going to be dropping a podcast here this week talking about new bloods versus blue bloods and, what it takes, what qualifies, a program as a new blood. This is part of it. Having coaches get recognized, consistently and having good players and one and dones. This is what, produces new bloods. I think to be a blue blood, it's like, you have to have done it over a period of time. You also have to have a championship to be a blue blood. So, sorry, Gonzaga, you're not a blue blood. But I just think this is your sign that we're trending the right direction. And we just gave a dude $50 million to keep being coach. So the fact that after that decision, he gets recognized as the best coach in the conference, I think validates a lot of the decision to give him that kind of money and to lock your program in the direction that it's headed right now.
Your thoughts on Bruce Pearl?
I mean, Coach Pearl is deserving of every accolade that he gets for how he's helped to put this program into the position to be a perennial great team, right? Like people can have flash in the pan seasons where they have a good year and then they fall off, but to do it year after year, especially with not having traditionally up until very recently gotten all of the, blue chip players, the guys that everyone covets, to be able to put a program in a position to build it, as he says, off the backs of 3 and 4 stars, 2 and 3 star guys, is something to be said about that. A team that consistently can go to its bench and be able to find productivity and not have to rely on the likes of a Jabari Smith to have 30-point games in order for them to be successful. Coach Bruce Pearl has placed Auburn in a position to be that team, to be a team that, if you look at last year, or just look at productivity from last season, anybody telling me that you lose your highly touted freshman point guard, you lose your highly touted small forward / power forward from that team, You lose the shooting guard who, was out for a large portion of the season, transfers out of the program, and you don't know where you're going to replace that productivity with at the end of the season. And then you fast forward, starting the season off ranked to likely finish 5th, and that team, pretty much mops the floor with everybody in front of them, four losses on the season. If you tell me that that's not the coach of the year, I would kindly ask you what brand of cocaine that you smoke, and keep that as far away from any of your loved ones as possible, because that is not a healthy thing for you.
Are there brands of cocaine?
You got to be smoking crack. You got to be smoking dope.
Okay, all right.
Because it just doesn't make sense, right?
So
because
brands.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, his designer, is Blue Magic.
The streets talk.
Yeah, okay, all right. Fair enough.
It is definitely just not, you can't tell me he didn't deserve it. You can't name a coach in the SEC that has done better with, again, we're taking the entire body from the end of last season, losing the talent, and getting to a place where the expectation was middle of the pack finish, to winning it outright in the regular season. At one point in the season, for multiple weeks, #1 in the country. Yeah, that's the coach of the year, hands down. Who else deserves that? Nobody. Yeah, and I mean, it would have been the ultimate slap in the face to Bruce Pearl if he didn't win it this year. He deserves it all.
I kind of feel like it's been long overdue, because I feel like he's actually earned it in previous seasons.
For sure.
Did he not win it in 2019?
No, he didn't.
He did not win it.
I mean, listen, they give the award out. They give the award out before the tournament, though. Like
they do.
They do.
Okay.
I think had it happened after the SEC tournament, he probably wins it in 2019.
He didn't get it in 2018, and we was looking amazing.
Hey, listen, it is what it is, man. We understand that these are awards given by sports writers, and Auburn was not grabbing the sports headlines.
He chooses violence, people.
I'm just saying, it is what it is. Sports writers have who determine who gets these awards annually.
You're not wrong.
And because Auburn was in the headline so much, because we were grabbing, national recognition, it makes it impossible to overlook Auburn at that point in time. If we had all of the things that I just said and we don't win the SEC outright, it probably goes to the coach in Arkansas. Musselman probably wins it, or, if we tie with Arkansas, right? Because he comes off the heels of an Elite 8 appearance last year, and then he comes back for a share of the SEC. It probably goes to him, right? No matter the fact that Arkansas was picked to be in like the top 3 in the SEC, right? Like none of that matters. What matters is the narrative that they can spin around it. And the narrative in this case is you can't ignore the narrative. The narrative is multiple weeks #1 in the country, not just in the SEC, and never not #1 in the SEC. Never. There was never a point in this SEC season Auburn was not the best team in the league.
That's fact.
From the very first game of the season.
To finish 5th. Pick to finish 5th.
You can't ignore that. You can try to spin whatever you want to. You can throw every Ken Palm decision tree you want to at this algorithm, and it will always end with Auburn had the best record, and Coach Pearl deserves a ton of credit for it.
Speaking of cocaine, Ken Palm is on a special brand of coke. If you look at them Ken Palm rankings, right? Gonzaga fans love to quote Ken Palm. San Francisco was a Ken Palm number 24, so they could win it all. Like, what? I don't understand. But, he's right. I mean, that's a very good point. At no point in this season was Auburn not the best team in the SEC. Yeah. Full body of work, taking into account. I don't want to hear anything about injuries. Injuries are part of the game. So if your team is constantly getting injured, then your team is not good. Because staying healthy is a part of being the best team.
Well, I mean, especially if it's the same player over and over again, right?
Right.
Like, no disrespect to that young man, but he does have he's had injury issues the entirety of the season. So it's something that you should have by this point in time figured out how to play around.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Question for you guys. How do you feel about it? I think, Mike, you may have mentioned it on Sunday, but what are your thoughts about the national recognition for Walker Kessler? Like, what is the likelihood? How do you see him finishing with the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? And I can tell by your expression there, it's not the most positive. No sunshine pumper shades today.
Yeah, I've been talked off the ledge on this one. Oscar's probably gonna win it.
I mean, he won the Player of the Year in the conference.
Yeah,
it's likely. It's a hard sell for me. The guy who won the Player of the Year getting beat out by the Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
But I just feel like what he's done from a block perspective, like that one, and it's not just about stats, man. It's about his effect on the game. You're talking about somebody who drastically alters the course of the game, making guys shoot shots over, around, up to the moon and back, trying to get it to the basket.
Yeah.
That doesn't go down as a recorded stat. But if we had if PFF had a special stat for basketball where they recorded altered shots, Walker Kessler would be leading the NCAA in altered shots.
He's already leading in blocks.
I was about to say he's leading in blocks, so that's not a far stretch of the
imagination. Yeah, I mean,
that way. So
he doesn't have to block the ball to make a difference in a play. And it's just been crazy watching him play, and the amount of times guys have to try to put up circus shots just to get it up around the rim, and driving into the hole is a non-starter for a lot of teams when Walker Kessler's in the game. So all you can do is really try to go at his body and hope he fouls out.
Yeah.
Because if you don't get him in foul trouble, it's going to be a rough game on the inside for you. He does. I mean, he's got those long arms. He's got that reach, so he can keep his body off of you. Every once in a while, they catch him jumping, but he does a great job staying on the ground. And, what a great defensive player. I think that, and I know this is a homer take, but what he has accomplished in my book is more difficult than, Sheboy's rebounding numbers. I think the amount of blocks, blocking a shot is harder than a rebounding. In my book. Hear me out. Blocking a shot is harder than rebounding.
I mean, what I'll say to you is it's a lot more difficult to get double-digit blocks in a game than it is to get double-digit rebounds.
For sure. And he's done that a lot this season.
Yeah.
So, the amount of blocks that he has just been otherworldly. And when you're blocking shots, there's a psychological thing that happens, right? When a guy's blocking shots at the rate that Kessler is, you're driving into the hole and you're already thinking about doing things differently because this guy blocks such a high percentage of the shots that come into his space.
For sure.
Walker Kessler is his own no-fly zone.
Yeah.
I just don't, man. Wow.
Yeah, the most success I've seen players have in terms of getting the layup is they're driving from the baseline and using the goal to defend themselves from Kessler because he can't cross over and block a shot. That's the most success guys are having. But if you're driving straight down the lane, no, it's a no-go.
Yeah. Hey, Lance, our social media guy, Lance, if you're watching, put that on a graphic for tomorrow. Walker Kessler is a no-fly zone in the paint. He is just, you come in there and just be on notice. You're not allowed to be in here. Okay. This is not a space for you, right? He might as well have a sign on his jersey, just to stay off the grass.
Get off my lawn.
Right, stay off my lawn, bro. Right, this guy is great, and he's even in spite. It's crazy. He has such a profound effect on the game from a defensive standpoint that we have to split the distinction between our best player and our most important player. Jabari Smith is our best player, hands down. And normally your best player would be your most important player.
Yeah.
But in this case, not. And for it to be a center as well, too, man. Think about it. If you were going to say our best player is some kid like Jabari, but our most important player is probably the next position would be point guard, right?
Yeah.
The guy handling the ball. But in
Sure.
our case, it's our center.
Yeah.
He just extra impressive. I mean, what a pickup. What a complete coup this offseason for Bruce Pearl to go pick this guy out of North Carolina, where somehow he split time with some dude last year.
Yeah.
Did they do well last year?
They weren't terrible. I mean, North Carolina's never terrible, but they weren't blue.
Roy Williams was on his way out, so I
mean, I just don't understand it. Like, how did they let him get away?
Yeah.
But whatever. Well, I'm glad he did.
Yeah, I was about to say, definitely kudos to them for not having the foresight. I think it was just more of like Bruce Pearl had a system that works better for Walker Kessler. Like, and it took a couple of games for them to figure out how to effectively use him. But once they did, he
took off.
Yeah, like those first couple of games of the season, I was just like, "Yo, this Walker Kessler kid, I don't know if he's got it, bro."
I remember you were saying that,
and because he was moving slowly. He got dunked on a couple of times in the first couple of games, and I was just like, "Yo, what is going on? You're too big and soft. I mean, too big and slow for all this jump, bro." But they started putting him in that pick and roll action, and that changed the complexion of what we could do offensively because. And this is something I might do in one of our film breakdowns, just talking about the evolution of what the offense has become. So I'm going to try to, let me just go ahead and tease this. I'm going to try to get you guys a film session in before the first game, because we will have played one of these teams before, right? So I'm going to try to do a film breakdown of like what happened in that previous game. If it's Florida, we've got 2 games, Texas A&M, we've got the 1, and just kind of talk about what we did well and things that I see us needing to do more of, do less of in that game. So I'll try to see if I can get that in. I will be down in Tampa, so if any of you guys are going to be down there for the tourney, holla at your boy. But yeah, I'm going to try to get that in before the game on Friday. Yeah, Friday is when we play. So we'll see how that works. Anyway, but yeah, so when we started the season, it was a pick and roll with Jabari Smith. They were doing all the pick and roll. The on-ball screen action was mostly Jabari Smith, right? They were doing what is even pick and roll? It's pick and pop mostly,
right?
And they switched that and stopped putting Walker Kessler on the low block and had him come out high offensively to set the screen and roll action. And that's when you started seeing a lot of the lives over the top, and the offense was just clicking in that place because you had Jabari Smith who could shoot so well as a spot up shooter, right? Like he didn't have to be in the screen and roll action. He could just hold a corner down, and it made you not be able to help off of the weak side. Because if you helped off the weak side, you're helping off of Jabari, and that's just not great, right?
Right.
So we've got an opportunity here to be able to revolutionize the offense and get Walker Kessler in a position where he's doing something he's uniquely qualified to do, which is just be big and physical at the point of attack and roll to the basket really well and be just a huge target rolling down the lane to throw the lobs to. Once he was able to do that and he was more active on the offensive end, I think that activated his defense a little bit more. And man, once the defense got active, and that's why the distinction of him being our most important player is 100% true, because as people have pointed out watching our games, as commentators have said, even when Auburn's not shooting well, the defense is working, and he is the anchor point of that defense. We can be aggressive. We got beat a lot early in the season, still got beat later in the season on back cuts, right? Because we're so aggressive in ball denial. When you're aggressive in ball denial, you're susceptible to the back cut. Well, you can be more aggressive in the ball denial when you've got a guy who's blocking 4.5 shots per game, altering somewhere 10 to 12 of them, right? I can be super aggressive out top as long as Walker Kessler is still patrolling the back end. So it made our defense that much more difficult to just get into sets and get quality shots off. And again, that allowed us to weather the storm of poor shooting performances, because it's like, all right, but you ain't scoring either, so it doesn't matter. So definitely a very clear distinction. Best player on the team, Jabari Smith. Most important player, because of defense mostly, is definitely Walker Kessler.
For sure. I definitely agree with that. And the fact that if you want to sag off of him and not play him on the perimeter, he'll make you pay there too. So
he's been doing that much better. He's more willing to shoot it, It's just again, man. There are some good things offensively to look at in this team and say, I think we've turned the corner on a couple of things. It's only 2 games to look at and say that, but however, you get it on the neutral site, I think it's going to change a lot of that. So we'll see.
Agreed. Let's get into some of these comments. Shout out to those of you watching live with us, as well as those who are commenting. Of course, we can't get to them all, but we'll try to do our best. Stuart Donald says, today is 1 year since I adopted my pooch. Lukenbach, Texas Donald. Luke for short. Help save those puppies, y'all.
Hey,
Stuart,
Luke.
appreciate you, man. Appreciate you for the super chat. Thanks for watching with us.
Stuart, did you just buy he just bought a Tesla or something recently? Or maybe it was a Volt. Yeah, he bought something electric. He was like, man, these gas prices, going electric. I saw that the other day. I was like, all right, I don't blame you, brother.
Yeah, Mike G looking at going electric, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, Ike is doing it too.
Yeah. Signed up. Speaking of going electric, hey, listen. Become a patron. $5.99 a month. Help the war poor go electric. These gas prices.
Hilarious. All right. Warbird, pleasure meeting you. Warbird and I are actually co-workers. Yeah.
Okay.
We actually was speaking. He recognized my voice, came back to my work area, and was like,
that's funny. That's funny as shit. Okay.
So pleasure meeting you, War Eagle, to you, sir. Great conversation with you. Of course, Ben Bloodworth wants to know. I sign on and instantly hearing speaking of cocaine.
Got to get your money's worth when you tune into the War Report. So got to cover all our bases.
Jazzy.
Yo.
Hey.
War Eagle, my guy.
War Eagle. I want to guess where you are, Jazzy.
Yeah, we need the parameters for the Jazzy Challenge. The game is on Friday. We need the parameters for the Jazzy Challenge.
Okay, all right.
So we can
Jazzy also says, I need an electric.
I saw that. He posted that on Twitter.
Ooh.
And I was like, I thought he said he was going to get a horse or something, but like yeah, I saw that. I was like, ooh, that was like, Jazzy, what was that? Like 200 gallons or something that thing takes? It's crazy.
Wow. Our whole surging gas prices don't end the Jazzy Challenge. My God,
I'm telling you.
Goodness gracious. Praying for you, brother. Stay strong out there.
Yeah, these gas prices going to turn the 99-cent store into the $5 store. Quick. It'll be 99 cents.
I hope not. Well, listen, we're going to get into discussing the SEC tournament. That's the thing that's brewing. But guys, before we get to that, please show us some love. Smash that like button, guys. Get the engagement up. We greatly appreciate it. We're going to pause to acknowledge the sponsors of the War Report.
The War Report's Wednesday Night War Room is brought to you by our generous sponsors. AuburnSports.com. For news and notes on all things Auburn Sports, head over to AuburnSports.com. University Ace Hardware, located at 2101 East University Drive in Auburn, Alabama, right across the street from the Auburn Mall and next to the movie theater. For all of your hardware needs, Ace is the place. And our giveaway sponsor, GWT2 Energy. If you want the best in the business at restaurant logistics, check out our friends at GWT2Energy.com.
Hey, become a patron. This is a great way to support our content. $5.99. Hit the join button on our front page. We appreciate you guys for joining our community. There are a lot of great reasons to join the War Report community as a patron. But most of all, this is a way for people who want to support us with a small monthly contribution. This is the best way to do it. It helps us continue to bring you guys quality content and keep the lights on at the War Report. We're working full-time jobs and also trying to bring you content 5 days a week. So we appreciate you guys for joining our community. We're partnered with the Lee County Humane Society to hashtag save all the puppies. So I've done it. Ike's done it. Stuart's done it. You should do it too. So if you don't have a rescue, you can help somebody else find the same joy by donating to them. You can find this link in the About section of our YouTube channel. 50 cents on every dollar goes to them to help them. Hashtag save all the puppies. We're giving away an AAU t-shirt. Hashtag get your weight up in the comments. Brought to you by WT2 Energy Consulting Services. That's our guy, Walt Taylor, in the comments. We appreciate him for funding these giveaways. So get your spelling up, make sure it's spelled right so that you can get in. We're going to pull at the 1 hour mark, but you got to be here to win. If you don't win, you can just buy one. Visit thewarreport.com and grab a t-shirt, grab a hoodie. It's getting a little warm for hoodies depending on where you live, but we got some other great stuff in that merch store that Ike has designed, and he designs all of it. So get over there. That's a great way to support our content as well. We're on podcast. We're on every single podcast platform, so check us out. Download, subscribe, leave a 5-star review, help us climb the podcast charts. One Shot Rogue, shop.com or Rogue Apothecary. They're a great sponsor of ours that just came on recently after the new year. Our guy Richard is doing great stuff over there. Use code RAPPORT, shop.com. Use code RAPPORT, get 10% off. But it's important that you use that code so they know that you came over from the War Report. Last but not least, listen, guys, no matter what happens in life, it's important to remember that Virginia double tripled. We're getting close to the tournament here. This is something that we can't forget. Need it top of mind. And yeah, I got mad. I was up late last night. I couldn't sleep. And fun fact, I have not watched a replay of that game since we lost. I can't do it. I've watched no highlights. It popped up on my thing on YouTube, and I just scrolled right on past it. Of all the games, that, it's that and
no, don't do it.
See, you remember after the national championship in 2013, we came back to the Airbnb in Pasadena, and we pretty much just sat in silence. It was depressing, right? Like nobody turned on SportsCenter. I think it was weeks before I could watch highlights of that game.
Bro, we went to go get something to eat right after that game. Do you remember the bonus scene after the first Avengers?
Were they all sitting in the restaurant?
That's how we looked at the restaurant. It's just dejected, ready to go home.
I know, eating shawarma.
Right.
It was pretty depressing. So we are it's tournament time. I'm hoping that we can make some better memories here. And I'm hoping nobody has a season-ending injury this tournament either. So it'll be fun to watch.
Oh man. Well, listen. Let's go ahead and talk about it, guys. We're here. It's tourney time. The SEC tournament is here. It's win or go home, right? So
win or go.
Let's look at let's see if you can see it pretty well here. It's kind of small, but we'll go with the games today. Ole Miss, who's the 13th seed, faced off against Missouri, the 12th seed. Missouri has gone on to win. They will face LSU tomorrow. Georgia and Vandy are playing right now, I believe. And so the winner of that game will actually play Alabama on tomorrow. Of course, Mississippi State will face off against South Carolina. Florida plays Texas A&M. Guys, you want to just talk about how we want to tackle this? Do we want to talk about the games leading up to our game, particularly the Florida A&M? I want to do this.
Yeah, we can definitely discuss that. I don't think. Who do you guys think is gonna win the game tonight between Georgia and Vandy?
That's Vandy. Right. We have a game going on right now. It's so funny. Like this Georgia team beat Alabama. They went.
That's how flex.
Yeah, I know, right? But what was their SEC record?
They were pretty bad.
They only won 6 games this season.
Georgia was pretty bad. Did they fire their coach?
Crean, I think either or he's done it or he's not coming back.
Yeah, they basically said that he is not going to be coming back next season in a recent release or something.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be really funny if somehow Georgia just went on a crazy run and won the SEC tourney after they announced their coach wasn't coming back?
No, I would not enjoy that at all.
it will undo all the hard work we've done as a conference this year.
Guys, I would just like to say, if you look at Georgia's schedule, way back, let's see here. When was this game? Why don't they put the date of the game? They were 5-7 on the season at the time, and they played East Tennessee, and that sparked a historic streak of L's with one W sandwiched in the middle of like 10 L's, one W, and then another 10 L's. And that one W was Alabama. And every time I look at that, I smile. My soul smiles. Like, these guys lost a hell of games. They literally went on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
They were
7,
close in a
8.
lot, though. So let's be clear. They weren't just getting mopped every game.
Yeah, I mean,
they were close. I mean, shoot, we only beat them by one.
Yeah, I mean, they played us real tight. So
yeah, they got. Yeah, we played them twice though, didn't we?
Oh no,
yes.
we killed them the first time.
Yeah, we played. Yeah, in our house
was the first time.
Yeah.
But they lost to Texas A&M by 2 points. They got mopped by Kentucky. They got mopped by Mississippi State. You know, single digits against Vandy. They got mopped by Auburn. They got mopped by South Carolina, and then they beat Alabama by 6 points. And then the mopping continued. And it's been nothing but L since then. That was their last win, was against Alabama. They lost.
I'll be honest. That's when I started to really question if Bama was going to make the tournament, when they lost to Georgia.
Yeah, I mean,
and then they came right back and beat Baylor. It's just like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm looking at the tough games you got left on your schedule. I'm like, you losing to them? Y'all about to be down real bad.
Real bad. But Georgia is just, you're right. It's their record suggests that they're terrible, but they were a sneaky tough out for a lot of teams this year, us included.
I mean, their best player was hurt for a stretch of that too, so that's part of the issue. But the issue for Georgia in winning the tournament is they literally, like, it's a murderer's row for them to get there, and they don't have. It's not like you have off days in the SEC tournament. It's back to back.
Has anyone won the SEC tournament playing every day?
I don't know, but
maybe someone in our comment section knows.
I just don't know how they don't run out of gas by game. Let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, how do you not run out of gas?
Like, you're out of gas by Friday. You're out of gas by Friday because you're only playing what? You're skipping what at most 2 days?
No, you're not skipping.
Like a short. No, I'm saying during a regular season.
Oh,
if
during
it's
the regular
Saturday,
season, 2 to 3,
and then you come back maybe Monday or Tuesday or something.
Right.
You're skipping at least a day or so in between. Yeah. But you're talking about every day. You battle a team and pull it out, and you got to get up and do it the next day again.
Yeah, I just don't know how it's possible, because even so specifically, like, just look at, Georgia. Let's say they beat Vanderbilt tonight, and let's say somehow they beat Alabama again. They then, after having played back-to-back games, get Kentucky as their reward, who has not played a game yet.
Yep.
There's no way they're winning that game. There is no way they beat a rested Kentucky, having played back-to-back nights, and the games that they played were Vandy, who is going to try to, like, push the pace with Scottie Pippen Jr., and Bama, who's going to try to push the pace and shoot threes out. They're just, how do you then beat Kentucky?
I'll play devil's advocate for a second and just say, is it possible that, like, Kentucky starts cold because they've had 5 days off?
I mean, it's possible, but again, Georgia's still got to play the whole game. So, yeah, they start cold. That means Georgia's going to have to come out there and build like a 30-point lead and hope to hang on. Like, I just don't see that happening.
Or a combination of things, right? You build a 15-point lead and Kentucky's just cold that night.
Or if Ty Washington gets in,
Ty gets hurt again.
Yeah.
Me and Ike was in the same.
So, I mean, I don't know. But they were competitive, at times in the conference this year. When they had that one kid, Edwards, a couple of years ago, that went first round in the NBA draft.
Mhm.
Like, it seemed like they were trending the right direction, but what a
I mean, they
fall
were
from
still a
grace.
bad team with
Yeah, they
Anthony Edwards,
still
though.
were.
Like,
Yeah.
he was their
Yeah.
best player, but they were still a bad team.
Is that why KD got out of Dodge?
Listen, he made the right decision, clearly.
It worked
KD
out
would have
for
been.
him.
Can you? So we know how temperamental KD is. Can you imagine KD playing on that team and they're terrible? He'd have been pulling out the pistol like he was on
Wait, man, can't jump. Like, I'm
no,
gonna
it
go to
wasn't
the car
white
and
man
get
can't
my
jump. It was
gun.
above the rim. He'd have been like above the rim.
Oh, that
pistol out. Yeah, he'd have been going to the book bag early, bro. Like, I just don't know how he survives that for an entire season.
Or maybe he did. I mean, he did already and was like, I can't.
I'm just saying though, like year 2,
I got to
he would have been getting more playing time. Yeah, man. I just don't think that that's a thing, bro. Like, I think he'd have suplexed somebody at half court.
Oh no.
Agreed. It would have been tough. It would have been tough for him mentally.
I mean, maybe they're a better team with him playing on there. No, they got Kwanjo in there, so they have this 1-2 punch at guard but like it would have literally been, and that's the thing. So they talk about like chemistry. I don't know if you guys saw the Dallas Mavericks recently traded Kristaps Porzingis, like they let him go off of the team. And the issue was that it was basically he and Luka Doncic couldn't play on the court at the same time because it was pretty much like give the ball to one guy, the other one just gets out of the way, and then you end up playing 4-on-5 basketball because they didn't know how to play off of one another. That's how I would have seen, that scenario playing out, because KD isn't like a facilitator at guard, and neither is Kwanjo. So you'd have just been like, okay, it's your turn. Now it's your turn. Now it's your turn.
Basically, it really would have been the Oklahoma City Thunder when you had Durant and Westbrook.
Yeah, that's it. There's just there wouldn't have been enough synergy on that team. Like KD fits well with our team because there's enough differential players. Even your best player can play off the ball and play catch and shoot, and doesn't mind being a guy to go and grab a board to go get his points, right? Like you can't have a ball dominant guard playing next to another ball dominant guard with no shooting around them and nobody knows how to pass the ball for real. Like it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. But that's the kind of team that Cream was putting together, though. That's his fault. He put the team together.
Yeah. Jay-Z says lame location challenge. Where am I for 50?
Let's see.
While
Hold
we
on.
think about
I'm gonna cheat for a second.
While we think about that, let's cue up what this is. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for the yeah. Welcome to another Jazzy Challenge.
Oh yeah. We added voiceovers, people. I'm dead. I
literally did that one day and completely forgot it was on there, and I was just like, let me just throw that.
I am dead. Let's see here.
Oh yeah, that never get old. You do that on anything. Oh yeah. Oh man. So you're cheating, Mike? What do you?
I was okay. So the other day, he posted a thing of gas the other day, and I'm just
trying
like,
to see where that was and see.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get an idea of like kind of where he was at.
All right. I am just gonna go out on a limb here, and I am going to pick.
Don't go trying to pull it down, Jazzy.
He's in Massachusetts. I'm gonna go with Massachusetts.
I was gonna go with Oklahoma.
Yeah, I was gonna say Oklahoma. So if you're gonna say Oklahoma, I'm gonna go with Tennessee. He's in Tennessee.
All right, we'll see if we get that one.
I was thinking Georgia, but I was like, somebody got to go west a little bit.
I was going to go Midwest at first, but I figured I was going to go up north. So
yeah.
Okay.
He said he was headed east, which means he was in the west, which means he's headed east, but he's not east yet.
Okay.
I think that logic checks out.
All right.
Got to be
Anyway,
since we don't
move
know.
on.
Got to be since we don't know. Blim Bloodworth says, I just downsized all my streaming services to afford my new truck payment. And guess who made the cut?
Hey, listen, let me tell you something about Disney Plus, right? You turn it on every time they release a new Marvel show. And then after you've watched it, you turn it back off again. And then you jump back on when they release a Star Wars show. But there's no reason to have your Disney Plus on 12 months out of the year. None. At least not right now.
Not right now.
Not unless
Not
you're
right
rewatching old
He
X-Men
said
cartoons.
Kyle got it right. The answer was Kansas. Dang, I was gonna go somewhere in the Midwest. But
Kansas.
so it was one of those things. So I mean, speaking of streaming things, I just had this whole conversation on Facebook about how I want to see this. Ain't got nothing to do with what we talking. I want to go see the new Batman movie, but I don't want to sit in the theater for 3 hours. Like, I'm spoiled on like being able to just watch stuff from the crib. So I'm just like, I don't know if I want to sit in the theater for 3 hours to see this movie that's apparently amazing, but I don't really care if it's worth it. Like, worth it means a good movie. 3 hours in the theater is a long time. So I was like, yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I've watched the last 2 Marvel movies at home.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I just,
Yeah,
and
me
the people
too.
were like, well, did you watch such and such? I was like, yeah, at home. Did
At
you
home.
watch The Dark Knight? Yeah, at home. I
At
was
home.
at the crib.
Yeah.
COVID ruined us.
Yeah, it
so
did.
I'm
Yeah,
never
it
going
did.
back.
Anyway, speaking of not going back, we're going back to this talk about the tournament. Let's pull it back up here again. On tomorrow, Florida faces off against Texas A&M. Now, we remember what happened on our floor against Texas A&M.
Okay.
We played Florida on our floor at Auburn. We played Florida, won that, lost them in a tight game on the road.
We owe Florida, bruh.
Who do you? Okay, that's my question. Who do you want to see? Because see, if this sets up right, this actually gives Auburn all the motivation they could want. If Florida is our opponent on Friday, you get past them. Arkansas is waiting on you. These guys are highly motivated throughout this tournament. I don't see any letdowns in terms of play or effort. But what are you guys' thoughts on who are you liking against in the A&M Florida matchup? I'm gonna start with you. Ike already says who he wants to see. What about you, Mike G?
I don't know who I favor in that matchup. I just know I'm not scared of playing Florida again. The chances of us shooting that poorly again and a matchup on a neutral site is slim to none. I just don't see that because our defense didn't falter. Now Kessler did get in a little bit of foul trouble near the end of the game there. And Castleton got some shots off with Kessler essentially just trying not to foul out. But no home cooking.
Which, I mean, listen, it is in their home state. So, I mean, maybe that factors in some, but I don't know, man.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's not going to be quite the same.
They got help from us, and I just don't see us giving them that help again because they didn't do much against our defense. Auburn is a defensive team. As long as we play defense, our brand of defense, we have a chance in every game that we play in, which is truth. After Duke fell by plus 10 points, Auburn is the only team currently ranked in the top 10 that has not been beat by double digits this season. Defense. We are a defensive basketball team. And on a neutral court, I just, with a full season of experience, I just like Auburn. The only team in this tournament that really scares me at all is Kentucky, just from a pure talent perspective.
Yeah.
I can't see it with Florida. Texas A&M, definitely not worried. I'm a minus gummy on Texas A&M. Florida, I'm a half gummy. Like I mean,
that's a good way to transition to it. Let's give us the gummy levels for each of these teams. Let's talk about that for a second.
Before we do that, let's do it proper, shall we?
Yeah.
Let's talk about Rogue Shop.
This segment of the War Report is brought to you in part by RogueShop.com. If you're in need of high-quality, all-natural herbs and extracts that contribute to a happy, healthy lifestyle, the Rogue Shop is the place for you. With a variety of products that contribute to a healthy sleep, lower stress, and a happy mood, the Rogue Shop has you covered. Visit them at DRogueShop.com and use code REPORT today. Tell them the War Report sent you.
All right. So for Friday, what kind of gummy day is it?
If Texas A&M is the guys who are playing, where you at, Mike?
If Texas A&M is the opponent, it's a spa day.
Last time we did this,
Go ahead. It was a spa day. I'm not like the point of being the number one seed in any tournament, right? Is that you have the easiest path to the championship game. Yep. And these are both teams we beat already. So
I mean, there's no team in this entire thing that we haven't beat. Sans Kentucky. Tennessee. Tennessee's the only team that we have not beaten.
Arkansas,
right? So
that's right. We only played Arkansas one time, so Arkansas too. Oh yeah, we get to have revenge a couple times, bro.
That's what I'm saying. We gonna be kind of motivated.
Yeah,
the way some people sets up, right?
So when I'm looking at it, I'm just thinking if it's Florida, especially, it took home court advantage and a terrible performance from us on offense. Like, we beat ourselves. I think Wendell Green went like 2 for 10 in that game. Just some really odd stuff. And at the same time, KD had a terrible game, and Flanagan was turning the ball over for no reason. And I mean, it was just a lot of self-destruction, self-inflicted wounds.
And they still only scored 63 points or something like that
to beat us by a point.
They beat us by 63-62 was final
score. To beat us by a point. So their best efforts coupled with
we still had a chance to win it at the end. We had the ball at the end of that game.
Yeah, with a shot at easily winning that ball game. So it's listed like, to Mike's point, their best effort versus probably one of our worst this season, and they still only won
1 point. Yeah. So I like Auburn. I can't say I'm super worried.
I think I think both of them are teams that we have proven that we can beat and should beat. If it is Texas A&M, I think that they are not as good a shooting team. Florida's not a great shooting team, but they have shooters, right? Like, they have guys who can shoot the basketball and can get hot at any time. Florida, I think, is the better overall matchup for us because of Colin Castleton and what he presents on the inside. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Mike here and say it's one gummy day either way for me. Like, I mean, Auburn's always going to make it interesting, but how I feel today, I don't feel a super huge amount of anxiety over either one of those teams being the team that we face.
Yeah, I mean, and hear me out on this one. Even if we win by like something close, like 5 points, that's how we win. So that's not something to be concerned about. That's just how we win.
Right.
Defensive basketball team.
I'll have to agree with you guys as well. Again, I think even against Florida, who low-key, I think I actually want to see Florida win because, again, we're going to be very motivated. And Florida was they was jawing a little bit at home. They was feeling good about themselves. So on a neutral site, I'm expecting some good get back. I'm gonna go with a one gummy day as well on Friday, and I think we advance to the next round. Okay,
yeah, I mean, who do you guys think wins the game, though? Do you think A&M has any shot to beat Florida?
I do. I think it'll be a close one.
I got Florida winning. I think Florida wins.
Toss up on my end. It go either way.
Yeah, I think it depends on which A&M team shows up. A&M definitely has the ability to. I mean, in my opinion, though, Colin Castleton is easily top 10 player in the SEC. I could be convinced that he might be a top 5 player in the SEC this year. Let me think about that for a second. I think 2 of the top 5 might be on our team, so that's hard.
I don't know about 5. He may be right outside 5.
Let me think about it though. So like Oscar Sheboy, definitely.
You got the guy. You got the dude at Arkansas.
I mean, he's good. He's good offensively. I don't know that Note is like some defensive. Like, I think Colin Castleton plays better defense than he does, right? He affects the game more on defense than I think JD Notae does. JD Notae is a great scorer. Now, if we're talking about best scorers in the SEC, right, you got
You
Scottie
talking about
Pippen.
all around? You talking about all over player, all around
players.
player?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oscar
All right.
Tshiebwe.
Because I was going to name Pippen next.
Pippen, he's good, but I just don't know that he affects the game on the defensive end. He's a scorer and he's a facilitator, but like defensively, I don't know. But yeah, so you've got Tshiebwe. You definitely have. I think you can put Jabari Smith and Walker Kessler in the top 5 in the SEC, which is crazy, just because of how much Walker Kessler affects on the defensive end, and he still is going to score points, right? But then, like, after you get outside of that, like, who do you really have that can play both ends of the court? Colin Castleton, I think, is probably up there.
Okay.
Scottie Pippen probably is there as well, just because he's such a prolific scorer and he's not like terrible defense. And that's no shade to JD Notae. I think JD Notae is a good defensive player.
We wanted him. We wanted him. Notae.
Yeah, I mean, he could, but I'm saying I just don't know that defensively he's like somebody who's like, he's not a Zep Jasper type of guard where it's just like, I ain't gonna put him on. But he plays well. So I would definitely say, you know, he could be in my top 5 to 6 as well. But Colin Castleton, to that point, is right there, I think. And for me, he's gonna be the best player on that court.
Jazzy says, by the way, did B Will leave y'all with a challenge? I sent it to him in case I wasn't here.
I did not get a challenge from B Will. So
I didn't get it either.
I think he sent it to him if he sent it on Twitter, we can.
He may have sent a DM.
Yeah, we can pull that up.
So yeah, we'll get that. We'll also get this one. We were talking about Katie with Georgia. Katie would have pulled an Antonio Brown and walked off the court at halftime. So talking about how he was fed up with being in Georgia. You got the
yeah.
Okay. I see it.
So Mike gets Walker Kessler over under the stats on blocks, so 4.5. B Will is supposed to pick KD on steals at 2. Me, I'm supposed to get Wendell on assists, and C is supposed to get Jabari on points. So you are picking over under for it. So let's see if we get it here. So Mike, how you feeling about your boy Walker Kessler over 4.6 blocks or under 4.6 blocks in the tournament for this first game?
Yeah, welcome to another Jazzy Challenge.
Oh yeah. Okay. So that means it's now that we got that out of the way. Let me see here. So our guy, over under at five blocks. I'm going to have to say, okay, so closing against South Carolina, this dude Walker, he only had 2 blocks in the last game.
Yeah, it's that shoulder injury, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna go under on this one, but he still affects the game. Remember, he doesn't have to actually get the blocks to affect the game. I'm gonna go under on this one.
Lawrence said Shackelford, he doesn't play any defense. None.
Yeah.
Actually, who's the point guard for Bama? I can't think what the kid's name is. I actually think he's a better player than Shackelford.
JD Davis?
No, he comes off the bench.
Yeah, Davidson's. Yeah.
I don't know. It's Bama. I don't pay attention to him.
Yeah, I can't think of what his name is right now. But yeah, he's in my opinion, he's a better basketball player just all around than Shackelford is.
Quinterly?
Yes,
Yeah.
Quinterly.
Yes.
Okay.
Quinterly, I think is a better baller than Shackelford.
Jazzy Joe says, fun fact, Auburn's closest game at home was by single digits against Kentucky by 9. Every other game was by double digits. Nobody else in the SEC can say that. Who has the best home court? Gotta go us, man. I mean,
Did anybody else go undefeated at home?
Did Tennessee?
Tennessee, yeah.
They did?
Tennessee.
Okay.
I think Kentucky did too, right? Or no?
Arkansas might have as well. I'm not sure.
So yeah, I think the SEC it was tough. I mean, we said it. It was tough to win on the road in the SEC this year, regardless of who you played. There was just a tough game to play. Blake Robinson here just wanted to share a little money I made on the work trip. Just got back from always with love to you, gentlemen. War Eagle to you, Blake, man. Good to hear from you. Good to see you. Appreciate that. Before we get into talking about us, I think we're at the halfway point. It's almost time for the giveaway. In case you guys do not know, we are giving away an AU t-shirt. So you know what to do. Hashtag get your weight up in the comment section. Enter to win the AU t-shirt. We are about to draw. How are we looking, Ike? You're muted, by the way.
Yes. We got 55 entries right now.
55? That's not bad, considering how many we got watching live.
Guys, Tennessee took an L at home. So it wasn't them.
Who they lose to?
Tennessee lost to Texas Tech. Texas Tech came in there and beat them.
Obviously, I wasn't even really paying attention to what their non-conference stuff was.
Yeah, unless that was somehow on a neutral court. Villanova, they lost to Villanova. It wasn't on the road. That might have been a neutral court game, but
I think that may be a neutral court.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. And I'm just like, looks like they took an L. Who did we're saying Kentucky too?
Yeah, I don't know if any of the top four.
At Duke,
Kentucky, I think lost one.
At Auburn, no, they're undefeated at home.
So Arkansas was the only one that actually took an L in conference at home.
Yeah, Arkansas definitely took an L at home.
They only lost one.
Yeah.
Yep, and we know LSU took enough L's to have one at home.
Yeah, the lower seeds all took L's at home for sure.
So it was us in Kentucky. It was us in Kentucky that we went undefeated at home. Man, it was tough. Going on the road in the SEC was like a death sentence this year.
Yeah, rough, definitely wasn't an easy proposition, even for, like I said, the other team. I mean, because when Bama lost, they lost to Georgia at Georgia. We barely beat Georgia at Georgia. We barely beat Missouri at Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had a lot of close road games.
Mississippi State was a scary one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
Vanderbilt beat Arkansas at home by 1 point. They also lost to Hofstra, unless, of course, that was somehow a neutral site game. But they took at least one L.
I think Arkansas was kind of going through a bit of a lull too when it was losing those games. So. Yeah, they woke up. They woke up as the SEC season started to get going because they would look like they were about to fall off the cliff. They got beat real bad by Oklahoma early in the season as well. So I was starting to wonder if they was overrated, but they figured it out.
Man, what's crazy is Bruce Pearl has won like over 100 games since 2019. He's won like 100 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
This guy's crazy good.
Dude, Auburn was a wasteland when he got here. Like,
yeah, I mean, between Cliff Ellis and Bruce Pearl, it was rough.
It was real rough. It was definitely rough. So the job that Bruce Pearl has been able to do has been fantastic. And, and what I love about this season is we did it in one of the most competitive years in our conference.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't one of those where it's like nobody else was good and then Auburn was the standout. Most people, somebody tried to argue on our Instagram that the SEC wasn't the best basketball conference this year, and I don't know how you can make that argument.
JG will argue this with you. He actually texted me today.
Really?
Yes, he texted me.
What conference does he feel like is the best?
Big 12. He said he will die on that hill.
Okay,
Literally said he
okay, let's pull. That's a good conversation to have for these last few minutes because we're pretty much. Let's go ahead and pull and see who wins this
JG,
thing.
if you're watching,
Yeah, jump in the comments, man. Because
Oh.
I want to talk about this, right? Like, because I really want to see like why. What?
Go! Let's go.
Oh, give me a break, baby.
Ah, yeah. Welcome to another Jazzy Challenge.
Hell, he paid for it.
Hey, what merch you don't have already, Jazzy?
We definitely sending him that. We don't even have to wait for him to answer.
Yeah,
I don't even care.
He can be gone.
He's gone. He's still.
He can be gone for all we care. He's getting his merch.
I love when that happens. That's
amazing. Man, that is awesome.
Okay,
that is awesome. All right, so
okay, let me frame this conversation because here's what I love about JG. He'll just send me some random shit sometimes. Why are you giving us money? You just want something. Oh my God. Okay, so JG texts me, and if you guys don't know, follow him on Twitter. His name is Lance Dahl. He covers a lot of the live sporting events for us. So he represents the War Report at gymnastics meets, basketball games. Ike and I do football as long as he's anyone to Birmingham mumble at the end. So Lance will put out quotes after the show on stuff we say. And he took a quote that I talked about saying how good the SEC was this year. And JG texted me and said, you think the SEC is far and away the next best league, the next league, or the best league? And I'm not sure that's exactly what I said, but he was like, the Big 12 is pretty good. The Big 12 is the best, and I'll die on this hill.
Before he dies, want to point out burner account Big Dance Bound, hashtag Lob City.
Hey, my guy, we are Big Dance Bound.
Good to see you, Burner. Okay, so that's the argument
of the Big 12.
Yeah.
Did he expound on why they are the best?
He did not. Middle of the workday.
So let's look at it from the bottom of the league up, right? The bottom of the Big 12 is West Virginia, whose overall record 15-16, right? Easily better than now. There's more teams in the SEC, right? Mm-hmm. The Big 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 teams in the Big 12, aptly named. The worst team, 15-16, 4-14 in conference, right? So like the team that's closest to that is going to be Vanderbilt for the SEC. So you're going to have to take Georgia, Mississippi, Missouri, and Vandy and kind of roll them into one for it to even be close. So to make this fair, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The top 10 teams in the SEC, we start at Mississippi State. Okay. Right? Big 12's worst team, if we're going 10 for 10, and which again, you can't really do that, but just so we have a point.
Big 12. We're talking Big 12 or Big
12, excuse me.
Big 12.
West Virginia. West Virginia, who was 15-16, 4-14 in conference. So if we're at Mississippi State, 17-14, 8-10 in conference. Okay. Would you take Mississippi State over West Virginia? The answer to me is yes.
Yes.
No.
Okay. So next up, South Carolina, 18-12, 9-9 in conference. Kansas State is next for them, 14-16, 6-12 in conference. Again, I'm taking South Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next is Florida, 19-12 versus Oklahoma, who is 17-14.
That's actually a good matchup there.
7-11 in conference.
I'm still taking Florida.
That's a good matchup, though.
Iowa State is next, 20-11
Florida.
versus Bama, who is 19-12. I probably take Iowa State in that instance. But 7-11 in conference, 9-9 conference. So I still think Iowa State's probably the best team.
Bama could probably, if Bama's shooting, they can get them.
I mean, Bama could beat anybody if they're shooting. But like, okay, next, Texas A&M versus Oklahoma State, 15-15 versus 20-11, 8-10 in conference versus 9-9 in conference. That's a toss-up game. I mean, I don't know who wins that. Neutral site, I might give the edge to Oklahoma State. Next, you've got LSU and TCU. I'm gonna
played
say
each
LSU
other, didn't
wins
they?
that. Oh, that's a good question. We did the Big 12, Big 10 matchup,
Which we won for the second.
Which SEC won. I don't even want to keep doing this, bro. Like, we're better than the best team which is Baylor, who lost to Bama. We've already beat Oklahoma. Kansas is the next best team.
Kansas got mopped.
Kentucky's better than them. Tennessee's better than them. Arkansas is better than them. Like, the top three teams in the SEC could win a basketball game against everybody in the Big 12. Every single team. The top three, maybe the top four, would beat everybody in the Big 12. I can't name a team in the Big 12 that I would give a fair shot on a neutral court against an SEC top four opponent. None of them. They get waxed top to bottom. I don't. Where do you get this idea that the Big 12 is the better conference? How many of the Big 12 are going to the dance this year? Are slated to be going to the NCAA tournament. Then once you take that number, how many of them are people predicting that have a chance to get to the Elite Eight? Because a lot of people think all four of the top four SEC schools can do that.
Yeah.
Can 4 Big 12 teams do that? Where is this idea that they are a better conference this year? Maybe traditionally they're a better conference. This year, basketball season, March Madness 2022, who has the better people that are going to enter the dance? The answer to that question is the SEC.
Yeah, for illustration purposes, this is super bootleg, but if you're having trouble kind of visualizing, right, like this is what that looks like. So as I kind of said, if you enlarge your screen, West Virginia, right, is where we start the bar, right? West Virginia and Mississippi State. So in the SEC, we eliminate the bottom 4 teams and then just go team for team after that. That's what
that's how I was doing it.
Yeah, starting at Mississippi State. So you got 7-14 Mississippi State versus, and they were 8-10 in conference versus a team that went 4-14 in conference in West Virginia. 6-12 versus 9-9. Like, I mean, look at how many teams in the SEC went 500 in conference.
That's my point. The competition from top to bottom is better in our league, and we have the higher peak. So how are you saying they have a better league top to bottom?
Okay,
when it's more competitive game to game.
So let's go. So there are 4 ranked teams in each conference. So let's just look at this for a second. Is Auburn or Baylor?
Auburn.
Well, yeah,
Auburn. Come on,
say, right? Kentucky or Kansas?
Kentucky.
Come on. Well, it already happened.
Oh yeah, we saw that.
Kentucky literally gave them an enema at half court. It was just it was terrible.
Texas Tech or Tennessee? This is where it gets a little closer.
It's still Tennessee. Tennessee's a better basketball team.
I'm gonna go Tennessee.
Then Arkansas or Texas? I'm definitely going Arkansas.
Stop.
Okay.
Arkansas.
Stop.
The only one that's debatable is Tennessee or Texas Tech. Every other one, I hands down am picking the SEC school.
Okay, all right. I just thought the visual might be good for everybody. As you can see, I whipped out my Microsoft Paint skills. Let's post this real quick. But I thought the visual would be important in kind of seeing just line for line how they match up. But when you look at it like this,
it is all because they have the traditional powerhouses in that I get it. I get Baylor won the national title recently, right? Like I get that Kansas is this perennial, whatever blue blood BS. I'm just talking about this year. And I didn't say the SEC is the best basketball conference for years to come. This basketball season, you have to do more than tell me the name that's on the front of the jersey to tell me that they are better than the SEC this year at basketball. You just have to. It's not a factual statement based upon any measurement. There's no objective measurement that puts the Big 12 as a better conference in basketball. There's none. And the only thing that you can even reasonably tell me is that you feel like the worst team in the Big 12 is better than the worst team in the SEC.
right?
But I think that, again, if we're going to be objective, the worst team in the SEC is Georgia, and Georgia was still a tough out at home. Again, you put them on a neutral court, and we play a three-game series. Who wins the vast majority of those games? It's the SEC, hands down.
Yeah, I mean, we got more teams, so you have to eliminate somebody at this point. So I think
that was my point. Why I took the last.
If you toss out Georgia, right, even Ole Miss, who went 4-14 at home, is the same 4-14 as West Virginia, right, in conference. 16-16 overall versus 13-19 overall. So I mean, man, you're right, dude. I
was leaning SEC, but no, when you put it that way, when you go our top 10 versus their 10, our 10 wins.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I felt like it was far and away before this part of it. I just felt like it was a really strong year for the SEC. And I think that bolsters what Auburn has accomplished this season because, like you said, it wasn't just one of those seasons where it was like the conference is down this year. And Alabama fans like to pull that out in years where Auburn is good at football, where they're just like, oh, the conference is down this year.
They only mean that their team wasn't good that year. That's correct. When the conference is down is Bama lingo for we weren't that good that year.
Yeah.
Right. So the fact of the matter still remains: Bama does not beat a competent Auburn team.
Mm-hmm. Bruce Pearl tweeted something out about what a travesty it would be stacking too many SEC teams in one side of the bracket.
Yeah. They need to disperse us amongst the floor and let us mop the floor with everybody up. But that's the thing they fear the absolute most. If they put Arkansas, Tennessee, Auburn, and Kentucky all in different brackets and we meet in the Final Four, the people will hate it.
Right.
And they got to hear SEC every game.
Oh, man.
They're going to hate it. They're going to absolutely hate it.
It'd be like an all SEC championship game pretty much, right? Like it's like Georgia versus Bama in the championship game. I just think, I mean, what a time to be alive in the SEC, and to win the conference this year, though, I'm telling you, it's probably one of the more significant basketball accomplishments in the SEC in the last 10 years. Can't think of another time where the conference top to bottom was this competitive. Yeah. So, and so to have the best coach, the best player, and the best defensive player is quite the accomplishment. I think they did something really. They accomplished something really great this year. It wasn't pretty all the time, but man, like listen, when you're a defensive team, it's not always pretty.
Correct.
And it takes that to win against some of these other teams that can be dynamic on offense. Love them or hate them. Listen, Kentucky's got talent. Year in and year out, they have produced as much talent as anybody in the country. So for us to beat them in this year and hold on, I mean, you guys, I know it was just South Carolina and Mississippi State, but Auburn could have. We've seen other teams fumble the bag this year.
Right.
We could have fumbled the bag against one of those teams down the stretch and ended up sharing this SEC title.
Mississippi State easily.
Yeah, I would argue that sharing the title in a year like this that's historic significantly waters down the accomplishment.
Yeah.
It waters it down for me. You're having a historic year, one of your best years in school history, and you shared the title.
Right.
Yikes. So I was happy that we won it outright. You know, sometimes it's so crazy things happen in basketball. In 2000, 4 teams shared the regular season title. None of those teams won the tournament. None of them. So you're looking at it and you're just thinking, this is a pretty good basketball conference. And what are we used to? We're used to the ACC kind of being in that
ACC and Big Ten. ACC and Big Ten. Yeah.
Right. And I don't know that the Big Ten was trash this year.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
Again, I'm not saying the SEC is just this runaway. I just don't get how. I guess when you said JG says he's die on that hill, that means you've got some strong evidence to suggest they're the better conference, and I would like to know where those.
I mean, again, they boast the defending national champ.
That's great.
You got Kansas as a blue blood.
They lost to Bama.
You got Kansas as a blue blood.
This might be building a sports
bad to Kentucky.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, I mean, I get it, but what did you do on the court?
Wait, so wait, we do a Big 12 versus SEC challenge every year,
and the SEC won.
We won it, right? Okay.
The only casualty, and I think Big Blue mentioned it. The only casualty was that Tennessee lost on the road against Texas. That's really the only casualty, but the other team showed up.
All right, so for that challenge, right? TCU beat LSU. Auburn beat Oklahoma. Bad. Iowa State beat Missouri.
Which
well,
Missouri
you should.
A good team.
You should.
Right. Arkansas beat West Virginia, so we're 2-2 now. Alabama beat Baylor.
Right.
Right. Okay. So we're 3-2. Ole Miss beat Kansas State.
Right.
4-2. Florida beat Oklahoma State.
Right.
And that's a bottom feeder, by the way. Ole Miss beating.
Yeah. 5-2. Kentucky beat Kansas.
Blasted Kansas.
6-2. Texas Tech beat Mississippi State 6-3, and Texas beat Tennessee by 1 point.
6-4.
Again,
we do have the head-to-head. I mean, yeah.
I go back to you put those teams on a neutral floor. The SEC probably waxes that entire situation. It's just not. I just don't think that they win those games. You telling me Tennessee doesn't win that game on a neutral floor?
Yeah.
I can't. I don't know, man. I don't see it.
So
I don't see.
They're saying 6-5. LSU lost to TCU.
I just don't. I don't see it.
Yeah, we said that.
You said
I said that
okay.
in the beginning. Yeah, I said that in the beginning. So I could be. I don't know. I could have added them up wrong, but I got 1, 2, 3, 4 wins for the Big 12.
Okay.
Right, Texas.
They only have 10 teams, so it's got to be either 5-5 or 6-4.
Yeah, it was.
And we won, so it got to be 6-4.
Right.
Texas Tech, Iowa State and TCU, 6-4. Yeah. Okay. All right.
I'm sorry. The SEC is the better conference this year. It just, there's the head-to-head proves it. I think what are the rankings for the top teams right now?
Oh boy.
In the Big 12.
Right. So per my handy dandy paint thing that I already got rid of, we have number 4, number 5, number 9, and number 15.
Okay.
Right. And then for the Big 12, we got 3, 6, 14, and 22.
Even in the rankings, we're better.
Yeah, so I would say we take that one as well too. Our lowest ranked team in the top 4 is 15.
It's 15, and they have 2 outside of the top 15. We have the higher seeds, and the lowest of our seeds is higher than their. Just what metric are we using, people?
Yeah, we have 3 top 10s.
Where the Big 12 is better.
Yeah, we have 3 top 10s.
Where is the metric? I just want to know. Like again. You can call me a homer all you want. Where's the metric? Forget where my allegiances are. Where is the metric? They didn't beat us head to head. They don't have better rankings. They don't have better records.
So here's another question. Outside of their top 4, which one of these teams is making the tournament?
That was my question. Like, how many teams from the Big 12 are going to dance?
They're going to put their. Let's see. I think they're going to put TCU. They're going to put TCU
1911.
Yeah, they're probably going to put either TCU or Iowa State.
Iowa State is 20-11, but they went 7-11 in conference though. Below 500 in conference.
I could see them putting one of those teams in there.
How hard was their out of conference schedule? Did they play anybody? I mean, okay, they beat Memphis. Xavier were ranked at the time that they played them early.
Also, who's the bracketologist that everybody likes?
Lenardi or Jerry Palm.
All right, look up Palm, and I'm gonna look up Lenardi.
All right, I got Palm.
I'm sorry, we are like all off the rails here, but I don't.
Jerry Palm bracketology, bro. All right, so and I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna do a screen share so we can show the people what we're looking at.
All right, 68 team bracket.
Yeah, that
here. I've got
Lenardi. Well,
yeah,
Lenardi has TCU in there.
TCU is in. Yep, Baylor's in. Let's see. Texas Tech, Kansas.
Okay, so this is the top 2 brackets, right? How many Big 12 teams we see here?
Texas, Iowa State.
So they did put Iowa State in there.
Yeah, I see 6 unless I counted wrong.
That's 6. I see
TCU.
And you're which one are you looking at? Mike?
I'm looking at Palm.
I'm looking at Lenardi.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at is Lenardi.
Yeah, I'm looking at Palm, and Palm has Iowa State, Texas Tech, Baylor, and TCU.
5 according to Palm.
That's what it looks like.
All right.
So Kansas. Kansas. Okay, got 6. Oh, we have a strong 6. We have 6.
So
at least.
So with Lenardi right now, we've got for the SEC, Bama, Tennessee.
Florida is in Palm's first 4 out, so they're they're on the bubble.
Kentucky,
Florida's on the bubble too, and Lenardi.
Yeah, they're on the bubble.
A&M is as well.
LSU, Arkansas. So 6 as well, right?
Yeah. If Florida beats Texas A&M and somehow gets by Auburn, they're in. I think.
Yeah, we've got 2 on the next 4 out. How many are in the next 4 out for
just one
for Lenardi
Florida.
as far as the Big 12 is concerned?
Oh, for the Big 12? Indiana's Big 10, right?
Yeah, no, they don't have anybody on.
They don't have anybody. I don't see them on Lenardi.
I don't see anybody. Nobody on Palm.
Like I don't even think they have a bubble team. Man, get out of here, dog. I'm
It sounds like a building report segment. I'm gonna bring JG on next week to explain this before the tournament starts. But compelling stuff, right? The SEC is as strong as it's ever been. I don't think that's really in debate. How we stack up versus the traditional blue bloodish kind of conferences. I think we match up this year. I think we match up well.
Agreed.
So,
it's gonna be good. I'm expecting our guys to get some get back. I think Florida beats A&M. Although I would love to see A&M get in there and we cruise, but I definitely want to see us beat Florida and then beat Arkansas. I think that'll be a good game. How many gummies for Arkansas?
Oh, that's gonna be a good one.
Man, listen.
How many gummies for Arkansas?
Note is a baller.
Yeah,
Note is a baller. So that game does. And Zep Jasper went on Locked on Auburn and chose violence as well, too.
Yeah, he definitely did. He
He went on.
100% did. He was like, "We owe y'all, and y'all was being disrespectful."
Yeah, listen.
Being disrespectful.
He was like, we owe y'all like ass kicking.
Listen, man, Arkansas's got to beat LSU though. It's not. I don't think that's no cakewalk game.
That's not a cakewalk.
It's not a gimme because LSU has woke up a little bit. They woke up a little bit.
So if you haven't seen that episode, go over to Locked on Auburn and click on that episode.
LSU is actually my sleeper to win the tournament. Like if it's not Auburn, I think LSU is actually the sleeper for me to win. Just because I think that they could catch fire at the right time. They've got enough pieces to do it. I think Will Wade's a scumbag, but whatever.
How many gummies? Zach? Against Arkansas?
Man, I don't know, man. Let me see how they play against LSU, and we'll see what's up on that. But for right now, it's definitely a strong 1.5. Just because, listen, we went to overtime with them, and I don't think we played particularly well at their home court. Neutral court, Zep Jasper playing, I think that's a different ball game. So, yeah, JD Note went nuts in that game. There's a lot of things that I think went the right way for Arkansas for them to win that game.
Yeah, that's right. We played that Zepless, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and did Kessler foul out in that game? Is that the game he fouled out on?
He did foul out in overtime.
Yeah. So
he was playing in foul trouble as well. So yeah, the stars aligned for Arkansas in that game. Gonna be interesting to see. We may surprise you guys with some lives covering this SEC tournament. So
listen, we got day games going on. Ike is gonna be there, guys.
Yeah,
Ike is gonna be there. Friday is our first game, so Mr. Jones will be representing the War Report down there with Lance. We talked earlier today about what happens if we lose. We plan for him to be down there the whole weekend.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much of that he's going to want to watch if we don't win. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, man. I got to figure out. I should have done it today, and I apologize to Prize Picks for not doing it. I should have done a Prize Picks segment on all of the games that were going on today, but I will try to get one done tomorrow for the Thursday games. But even though we're not playing this, might as well just see if we can throw something out there for the SEC tournament for each round, because there's more games to pick from. There's more stuff to talk about. So we'll see if I can get that in tomorrow before I hit the road.
Bit. Mike G, take us out, sir.
Hey guys, listen, great live tonight. We appreciate everybody taking a little time on a Wednesday night to hang with us. Become a patron, $5.99. Join our community. There are a lot of great reasons to become a patron. Not least of them is these basketball breakdowns that Isaac is doing for everybody. But mostly we're finding that people want to become patrons just to kind of support what we're doing with a monthly contribution. It seems small. It might seem small, but, if enough people do it, it's a big thing. So we appreciate everybody who's going to sign up and get that done for us, man. We appreciate it. We're growing. We are full-time, or we're part-time content creators working full-time hours. So we want to be full-time content creators working full-time hours. So you guys can help us get there by becoming a patron. We're partnered with the Lee County Humane Society to save money raise money for a good cause. So help us, help them. Donate today. You can find this link in the About section of our YouTube channel. 50 cents on every dollar goes to them to help them save all the puppies. We congratulations to Jazzy Joe for winning the raffle tonight. If you didn't win like Jazzy, you can just buy a t-shirt. Go to thewarreport.com, click the hamburger in the top right. Once the drop down menu hits, you'll see catalog, and you can find all our fly gear there in the catalog section of our website. So visit our merch store, support us there. We're on podcasts. We're on every single podcast platform, bringing you guys the War Report. So it's not just a rehash of the lives. We're doing podcast exclusive content. You'll catch Ike and B on there talking their talk. We're doing a weekly segment with my guy Auburn Memes from Twitter. He is constantly stirring up stuff on Twitter. He's coming on the podcast every week to stir up some more stuff with the War Report. So again, catch our podcast exclusive content on every single platform. whatever platform you listen on. Subscribe, download, leave a review. Let them know that you are supporting the War Rapport. I want to shout out to Rogue Apothecary or RogueShop.com for sponsoring our gummy segments. We got gummies via our guy Richard. Use code Rapport for 10% off. It's important that you use that code so they know you came over from the War Report. But they've got some great stuff there. If you're not into the psychedelics, they got things that are just pure CBD, things that are good for the soul, the mind, and the body. So check them out at RogueShop.com. Last but not least, guys, it's basketball season. Virginia double dribbled. You see a Virginia fan, tell a Virginia fan in your life it didn't count because they double dribbled. And not forget.
And they're not even going to the tournament.
I think not. They're going to miss the tournament.
They're going to miss the tournament. All right. They're paying for their sins.
And they were the first 1 seed to get beat by 16.
Yeah, it's been downhill for them since then. Actually.
Yeah,
it's called justice. It's called justice. Is what it's called. All right. How you like that? Anyway, do us some justice and share this video. If you're watching live on replay, use hashtag Get Your Weight Up on social media. That's Facebook, Twitter. We greatly appreciate that. Guys, before you get out of here, give the thumbs up, like this video. If you happen to find our channel, if you're new to our channel, please hit the subscribe button, notification bell. We will go live when news breaks, so you definitely don't want to miss that content. Also, you want to interact with us on social media, you know where to find us. We're the War Rapport on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We are TW Rapport on TikTok. That's it for now, guys. Enjoy the tournament. Hope it's a good tournament. Hope the good guys have a good showing. We will be here to cover it. See you guys then. Until then, enjoy the rest of your week.
War Eagle.